Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages. It's been a long time coming, but we are finally here. Welcome to the AussieVerse. I am Beau Roth, OmniBeau, and joined by my new partner here, we have in Grodd We Trust, Mark Watson. How you going, mate?
I'm doing good, excited. We're back.
It's a big night, isn't it?
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have our own Facebook group called the Aussie Omnibus Collectors. Please feel free to join, and you will see a great community there where we discuss all things collected editions, and you'll have great deals on there. Links will be in the description. Also, don't forget, you can also look us up on Instagram at Aussie_verse_comics_collectors. And this is obviously AussieVerse Comics and Collectors episode number 1. What's been going on in your world, Grodd?
Just a bit of work, actually quite a bit of reading. So, yeah, getting through all those issues. I'm a monthly issue guy, so usually I do get trades and a few hardcovers. And yeah, and Steve?
Steve, how you going, buddy? You're our first commenter. You can always take that to the grave, mate. Good work.
And I've also, obviously, we're going to probably talk about it later on. I also just watched Batman and stuff like that. And
yeah, I can't wait for at least a week or two to go by where we can do full spoiler talking about Batman, because I've got a lot to say about that. Yeah, man, it's been good, man. It's been a big break since the old channel to the new. So I'm really excited about this endeavor that we are journeying on. So I get a prize. Yeah, man, of course you do.
Yeah,
you ever see those Marvel no prizes? You'll be getting one of those in the mail. Zelda Ball Z, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Look, because it's the first episode of AussieVerse, let's do a little introduction of each other, hey?
Yeah.
Grodd, tell everybody what it is that you're into, what you read, what you buy, maybe not even comic related, it can be other pop culture stuff. What is it that makes you feel like a nerd and alive?
Well, I'm mainly... as I said, I'm a monthly like buy comic book issues, guys. How you doing, Trent?
Leslie,
how you doing, Leslie? I'm mainly DC, but I do love Marvel. But I'm mainly DC, and I'm into mainly like Flash, Batman. A lot of it depends on their rogues and stuff like that. I do get a fair bit of trades. I'm a big Catwoman fan as well, as a few of my mates would know. I'm also big into sports, a bit of a sports nerd for that as well. And yeah, just big movie buff. Obviously, mainly old school action movies as well. So like your Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and your Dolph Lundgren was my favorite actor growing up as a kid and stuff like that. And Aliens is my favorite movie. So yeah, and just enjoy reading comics. Just can't wait. All these monthly or weekly come outs and stuff like that. So yeah. How about you, bud?
Myself, I am a big collected editions sort of person, hence the Aussie Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. The only single issue I buy every month is Venom. Everything else I trade weight. Although, as my good friend Nicholas Lasala has converted me to, it is wait for the trades and get the hardcovers. Even then, it's wait for the omnibus. Good example is Savage Avengers has been out for like the last year or so, and I've been dying to read it. I bought the first trade, and I loved it. And as soon as I read the first trade, I realized this is something that's going to be much better read once it's finished, or at least once there's a chunk of it. And our good friend Omar from Near Mint Condition, funnily enough, just announced that there's going to be an omnibus printed of it. So I'm going to sell that trade, and I'm going to wait for that omnibus, and I'll read it then, because it's a big, long saga from what I understand. So, yeah, I guess on this channel, it will make it a bit hard for us when it comes to keeping on top of monthly comics. Mark and I have discussed, maybe we can pick up an issue each that we enjoy, like Punisher or something, and maybe we can just buy that every month, so we've got something new to talk about apart from the comic book world and the news. But yeah, man, I wait for my trades, my hardcovers. I'm a huge Marvel guy. As you can tell by my background, obviously I'm big into the webs. Anything Spider-Man is my jam, but pretty much the whole Marvel universe. So what have you read this week?
What's that? What do I read this week?
Yeah, what have you read? What have you bought? As a segment that we used to say, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you buying?
Okay, so I picked out a few that I've probably the trades and the hardcover I read about a month ago, but I'd still wouldn't mind to talk about it. But my single issues ones that I picked, I only picked 2 Marvel and 2 DC that I'm reading at the moment. But the first one's King Shark.
Oh.
Yeah, King Shark. So this is a mini series. It just finished, and I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. It's just basically he goes to battle the gods, like battle the realms. Like he's the shark god, so he's going to take over the gods of the shark, and he's battling animal gods and stuff like that. And there's what's her name? Helping her out too, because Amanda Waller still wants to keep King Shark, so he's allowed to go fight, but she's got to bring him back and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good ending. It was a really easy read. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's kind of like, you just want to start the night with an easy read sometimes. This was definitely always top of my pile because it's just an easy read. Had emotional moments in it. It was just I thought I'd give it a try. Yeah, 6-issue mini, and it just finished up. I recommend it if people go for trade. I reckon it'll read really good in trade. I reckon you'll get it done in one night. So yeah. As King Shark, Aquaman just started, so it's Aquaman. So it's Arthur and Jackson Hyde.
Okay.
There's been build up a couple of series like Aquaman: The Beginning, which is a Jackson Hyde story, and then there was a Black Manta series as well, mini series, and I got both of them. And they were quite good, and it built up to this. Hey, Jaden. And I like the. Nice. I like the Aquaman. I like the Aquaman universe, so I always pick up the Aquamans. And the first issue was pretty good. Carnage, I picked up. Was it 30-year anniversary? Just has a couple of stories in it. They were pretty cool, pretty horror stories.
It's good. Is it on for
that? The series started this week, I think, and I did pick it up. I just haven't read it yet. So it's an ongoing by Ram V, who is probably my favourite writer.
Jesus. I hope you're all right, Bobby.
Yeah, you're all right, Bobby.
You might need a doctor, mate.
Yeah.
Sharif.
Right. And Death of Doctor Strange, I finished that off. Obviously, it's called Death of Doctor Strange, so it's pretty much the spoiler there in the title. So trades now. I read Kingpin. I picked this up at the store that I shop at, Big City Comics in Footscray. He has a few, and I've been eyeing off this for a little while because I just wanted to know more about Kingpin after like Hawkeye series and stuff like that. So I brought a little mini series trade of it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I guess it's complicated because he thinks, just like a lot of good villains out there, he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's got this power sort of trip thing. He has to do it his way, and if anybody gets in his way, they die. And the last one I want to talk about, I read this about a month ago, but I highly recommend this, and I got this in hardcover. Yes. It's a great store, and Mark, the guy that owns it, is just a ripper bloke. I mean, like, allow yourself 20 minutes when you get there because he will talk to you. And he's such a nice guy. Allow yourself 20 minutes. I always do, like on Saturday on the way home from work. And yeah, I'm there for at least half an hour. The guy loves to talk and he's such a friendly guy. He's so easy to get along with. I highly recommend going there. So anyway, back to my hardcover, Strange Adventures by Tom King.
Oh, okay. What's that like?
This is really good. I mean, like, obviously everybody kind of liked Mr. Miracle. It's very similar to that. I really recommend this. It's hard to tell the story because there's so many twists and turns. So the art in it is just phenomenal. I think it's the same artist as he had in Mr. Miracle as well. So it's the same sort of layout. It's not the grid layout, but yeah.
I'm hoping this is someone you know.
Leon? Why is the guy in the flash shirt so ugly? I don't know.
We can't all be Adonises, mate. Like, come on. Is that someone you know?
No, I don't think so, unless it's Leon Chappell.
Well, I love the way they make that look like it's been beaten up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The hardcover's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Beauty.
What have you been watching? What have I been watching? Okay. I mean, other show. I still watch CW a lot. CW shows. So I do watch Batwoman, which I am enjoying. It's been okay. I'm watching this TV show that was back in the early 2000s, and it was called Warehouse 13. I don't know if anyone remembers that. You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't last long, maybe 2 or 3 seasons?
Yeah. So I think it came out on binge, so I started watching it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's okay. It's an easy. It's a bit of an easy sort of watch, and yeah, it's a bit nerdy, so it's kind of in my wheelhouse. So bit of history in it too. Yeah. What else? I'm watching the series Lethal Weapon, the actual TV series.
How is that?
It's actually pretty good. So I'm up to season 3.
Yep.
And it's now Sean William Scott, the Stifler from American Pie. He's in it. So it's pretty good. It's getting interesting.
Always wondered what that was like.
It's done well. It's a good. The first guy they got to do Riggs.
Yep.
Yeah, he was really good. Like he was really enjoyable. He was funny. He had that crazy vibe to him, like Mel Gibson did. It's perfect casting, I thought. And he must have moved on. So
you and me both, Steve.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have been reading Daredevil nonstop. I decided to start from what I have is the beginning, which is not the beginning, but that was Bendis's Daredevil. And I loved it. Dude, have you ever read Daredevil?
I'm reading the Chip Zdarsky one, so yeah, at the moment.
That's the current one, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't read that yet. It goes Bendis, then Brubaker, then Mark Waid, then Charles Soule, and then the one you're reading. Mm-hmm. And I've got them all except for the new one. So I read Bendis and I was just pumped for that, man. It was just unfreaking believable how good that was. I just couldn't believe how much I loved it. And then Brubaker's continued on that. And I loved it still. It wasn't as good as Bendis's, but it was still really good. I mean, let me put it to you this way, bro. You have Matt Murdock, the Kingpin, and the Punisher all in the same jail.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then once that finished, you had Mark Waid, who took it in a completely different direction, and that was really good too. If I'm going to rate them out of 10, it would be like, they'd all dip down like 1 point each time. So it would be like, Bendis 10, Brubaker 9, Mark Waid 8, but they're all really, really, really good, man. And I read Shadowland as well, which is in between Wade and Brubaker. So now I'm up to Charles Soule, which I'm going to start reading tomorrow, which I initially read the first 6 trades of, and I loved it. But then I just never bought the rest of the trades, and now I've got the omnibus, so I'm going to reread it and finish it. And that just looks mad, man. It looks absolutely mad. On top of that, there are 3 series that I've been wanting to complete in collected editions. One of them I recently finished, and that is the TMNT by IDW. I've got all 13 volumes now. The 14th is coming, and the reason why I'm looking forward to having this is because when I originally bought this, I bought this all in trades, and the trades you have to buy the mini series separately, and a lot of the series I couldn't find. Where with the hardcovers, it has everything. So even though I've read all the Turtles, there's a lot of side stuff that I haven't read. So I'm really looking forward to going back and reading a lot of those mini series. Sharif, no, see, I haven't got anything earlier than Bendis. So I really need to go and grab that stuff. But I don't think there's been omnibuses of them, Sharif, either. But either way, I definitely need to read them because Daredevil is becoming one of my favourite characters.
I'd like to, if anyone's actually read about Daredevil, because every series just seems to be phenomenal, don't they?
Yeah. Like, they're obviously, different to the last one, and there are things you'll like and there are things you don't like, but it's really great, man. What's this? Funny enough, I watched
Lethal Weapon.
Oh, on TV last week for the first time. I'm trying to figure out what LW was.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. I do recommend it. I thought it was pretty good. It's a bit of an easy watch, so a bit of action, a bit of comedy, and Damon Wayans is pretty good.
Yeah. No Stan Lee autographs on my side, mate. I sold mine, to be honest, because Stan Lee was signing, everything that you'd put in front of his face, and I realised that they just weren't going to be worth that much. And I sold it just before he passed, actually. So probably not the smartest decision, but still. The other series that I've been wanting to complete, I'm not really hugely into manga, but there has been a few series like Hellsing and Death Note and a couple of other things that I've really enjoyed. And one thing, because I'm a huge Astro Boy fan, a friend told me to go buy this book, and I read the first volume, and I never got the rest of it, but now I'm on the hunt, is Pluto. And Pluto is basically Astro Boy, but done a lot more adult. And there's 8 volumes, and I now have 4 of them. So I needed the next 4 to be able to read them all. And I just love this book, man, like so far. And the other one that I'm chasing now is Berserk, which a lot of people go nuts over.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of it yet, but I just bought the first volume today, and I already have the second volume. I think there's like 11 or 13 or some ridiculous number. But that's what I'll be chasing from now on. And then I've got everything that I want except for the new releases.
Yeah. Does it come in hardcovers, the Berserkers, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
They look great on the shelf too, like this black sort of fake leather sort of thing. I'll show you next week.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what you think of it, because a lot of people would say good things about it. So, yeah.
You liked the Death Note movie, did you, Steve? Have you read the books or seen the cartoon? Because if you have, you'd see why that movie was fucking shit. Don't get me wrong. If you're not a fan of Death Note and you watch the movie, it was enjoyable. I agree. because I watched the movie before I watched the cartoon show. And my girlfriend, my fiance now, absolutely hated the movie. And she's like, oh, you've got to see the cartoon now and you'll understand why I hated it. And I watched the show with her. And yeah, man, that is very, very different. There is a lot cut out. Apparently, they're making a sequel to the movie. Did you ever see the movie, Mark?
Death Note. I'm trying to think of it.
It's the one where the guy gets the book from a demon and he can write anybody's name in the book, and then that person dies.
Right. No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, fair enough, Steve. Like I said, if you haven't watched, I mean, there's a lot of things like that you can say. If you don't know the source material, you can still really enjoy. But it's not until you know the source material that you realize why this wasn't that good,
Yeah.
The anime, you mean? Yes, that's right, my darling. Yes, that's right. So what else do you want to talk about, mate, before we say goodbye for this short episode?
Did we have a few topics, or is that for another time?
Yeah, I've written down a few. Well, first of all, let's go over what AussieVerse means. When we decided to come up with this channel, we obviously came up with a lot of different names. But Mark was the one that had the idea for AussieVerse. Mark, take it away, mate. Where did the brainstem come from to come up with that beauty?
Well, it's just there's so much of this multiverse, and obviously we wanted to do something about Aussies and make it sort of relevant. So just AussieVerse. So and there's the Spider-Verse and sort of different sort of. So I just thought just add Aussie in front of it, AussieVerse. I thought it sounded. I just saying things in my head and just whatever stuck. And I'm going AussieVerse wouldn't be too bad, but obviously we wanted to add something on the end of it just to make sure people knew what we were going to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, just
to be aware as well for the sports fans around, it is very, very possible that Mark and our good friend Steve Roberts could maybe be having some sports-related topic shows. I know that I want to talk about some wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan, but it all depends on whether I can get people to join me because there's only so much you want to hear me talk about wrestling. So who knows what's coming? Did you go to Supernova?
I did not. No, not this year. So
no, neither did I. There was a few guests that I wanted to see. There was the original Spider-Man. I've gone blank of what his name is right now, but the original Spider-Man from the original movies where he would go up the wall like this. He was there. There was, oh my God, I'm really not doing the nerd culture very well by not remembering people's names right now. But there was the old fella from Lord of the Rings that I loved from the show Fringe. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's and he's in Sherlock. He's the dad.
Yeah. Really good actor, man. Really good actor.
He has that creepy voice.
Yeah. And there's somebody else that and there was the first Doctor Who of the new generation. So he was there too. Mr. Malachite from Thor: The Dark World.
Wasn't he the carpenter in Gone in 60 Seconds?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch that.
Villain in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Mark Hammond, that's his name. That's the original Spider-Man.
Right.
Yes, Claudia, thank you. Well, I don't know if you saw the trailer today, but they announced that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're ready for this because Marvel have wanted Keanu Reeves to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a long time. Apparently, the rumor is that every time there's a new movie, maybe not literally, but they approach Keanu Reeves and they say, we think you'd be good for this role, and then something happens and it doesn't go through. But Marvel really, really want Keanu Reeves to be a part of their cinematic universe in some way, somehow. So what does Keanu do? Keanu Reeves is now Batman. How? I know what you're thinking. Robert Pattinson is the new Batman. The old Batman is coming back as the new Batman. Ben Affleck is still Batman, but no, Keanu Reeves, ladies and gentlemen, is Batman in the DC Super Pets movie. Look it up on YouTube, look it up on Google, and that is right. Keanu Reeves is Batman in the Super Pets movie.
See, I don't know how good his voice is going to translate on anime.
In the trailer, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, he's got no volume in his voice. It's the same volume. Yeah. Yeah.
As long as he doesn't say "dude" or "what" or something, I think it'll be fine. So yeah, I never would have thought Keanu Reeves would be Batman.
No.
Have you seen the trailer?
I want to bring him back as Constantine.
Have you seen the trailers for these Super Pets?
I have, yeah. Only little bits, but yeah, isn't it The Rock, one of them as well, and Kevin Hart?
The Rock is Crypto.
Crypto, yeah, and Kevin Hart's one of the dogs as well, and
Kevin Hart is a bat dog, bat hound. I don't know what they call him. Yeah.
So I reckon it looks fun. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, that's right, Rachel. Keanu Reeves is Batman. Go check out the trailer after this show. Can't wait for Super Pets. Yeah, man. Like, I thought it was going to be some shitty little movie, and I've got to admit, it looks pretty damn fun. All right, what else have we got? Let's see here. Morbius is finally coming to the cinema. This is a movie that has been pushed back more times than Marvel's New Mutants. Do you remember the drama with New Mutants? This has been pushed back more times than New Mutants, and it's finally coming out. I think it's the 1st of April.
Yeah.
Where like early sessions are like 31st of March. Mark, are you going to go see Morbius?
I am,
Yeah.
but my expectations aren't too high. Obviously, Sony did pretty well with Spider-Man. The Venom movies have been a bit meh. New Mutants was, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't mind it. I'll still go to the cinemas and watch it. The previews look pretty cool. I know nothing about Morbius. I've never read anything Morbius. I've never even seen him rock up in comics. I don't read too much Spider-Man, so is he mainly a Spider-Man villain, or is he?
Originally, he was. There's a whole history of Morbius that I'm completely unaware of because I bought the Morbius omnibus, and I expected it to be a lot of Spider-Man appearances. However, if I look up my CLZ app now and quickly look up Morbius, LM, here we go. So apparently after he debuted in Spider-Man, he was in a few Marvel team-ups.
He was in Midnight Suns? Midnight Suns one? Is Midnight Suns one?
Midnight Suns was much later.
Yeah.
He was in a comic series called Fear, which I've never read. He was in Marvel Premiere, Giant Size Superheroes, Marvel 2-in-1, Giant Size Werewolf, and then they even had a comic series called Vampire Tales.
Right.
So he's done a lot of the dark Marvel comics. But to answer your question, yes, he's definitely more of a Spider-Man villain. However, he's also an anti-villain now.
Right.
You know?
They do that a lot of Marvel, don't they?
Yeah, well, depending on the writer and depending on the stories, it depends on where Morbius lies. You know?
What is he kind of like as a character? Like, is he pretty brutal, or is he?
Yeah, it all depends on the writer. I mean, there's not really much to talk about because he's a vampire.
Yeah.
You know, so there's nothing different between him and any other vampire. Well, actually, I might be wrong. there might be something like, you know how Blade, for example, can walk through the day and things like that. There might be something I'm forgetting about Morbius that separates him from other vampires, but as far as I can remember, there's nothing that separates them. He's just a vampire.
Does him and Blade ever clash? Because that'd be a good clash.
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
They have quite a few times.
Well, you would think so. So
yeah, we're kind of hoping that happens. In fact, if you go back to the original Blade movies with Wesley Snipes, there was actually an end credit scene where he looks on a building and Morbius is there, and they deleted that scene.
Oh,
because it was a direction they were gonna go in, and they didn't.
Nice, big fan of the Blade movies.
Yeah, Rise of the Midnight Suns was definitely a classic. In fact, with Marvel selling out so much on the titles that make them money, like Civil War and Secret This and Secret Invasion and whatever else, I'm really surprised they haven't redone a new Rise of the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, see, that's because I read about the Midnight Sun. That's how come I knew Morbius was in there. It's kind of like a Justice League Dark on the DC universe. It's the Magic Cruise, but you've got Ghost Rider and stuff like that in it, don't you? And sort of the monsters of the universe.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if because it looks like Marvel, the studio is wanting to do like a dark little universe within Marvel Universe. So you'll have, for example, Moon Knight. Who else? Blade. You'd expect them to do Ghost Rider sooner than later. So who knows? We might have a little Midnight Suns movie at one stage.
It'd be nice. Well, they're bringing out. Is there a Midnight Suns game coming out? I think too.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, is there?
I think I heard some rumors that there was a Midnight Suns game coming out. I can't remember if it's just a mobile game or is it an Xbox or PlayStation game, but I did hear it is. And I've seen the footage of it, and Ghost Rider's leading it, and I think you can get Wolverine's in there somewhere too and stuff like that. It looked pretty cool. But it's only like in starting progression, so.
Yeah, sweet, man. Did you see the new Thunderbolts that they've released? Have you ever read Thunderbolts?
I haven't read too much Thunderbolts, but you mean the series that they're bringing out?
Yeah, a new Thunderbolt series with characters that's going to be very hard to care about in this host size.
Because I did get the solicits this week, and I was flicking through it, and I did see, because it's June, isn't it? It's coming out. Yeah, I did see it, and I looked at the photo of the team. Obviously, I know Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And you got that America Chavez, wherever her name is.
Yeah.
And then I had no idea who the other ones were. I didn't read it. I'm just going, I didn't know that. So
I'm hoping it ends up being something like Avengers Academy or The Initiative, where it's all characters that you don't give a shit about or you never heard of them, but then you end up loving them.
Well, there's always that option. If you're going into it not caring about them, then if it's written well, you could have a new character that you love, and that's what we want.
Exactly right. So I mean, I've got a few more topics coming, but I think we'll save them for our first show next week. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything else you'd like to address?
No, we'll do a Batman review later on, and and we'll discuss more shows coming up and what we're going to do in the future. So I'm looking forward to it. It's good to get this out of the way and just sort of get back in the rhythm. Obviously, we're both a bit rusty, but
mate, as long as the passion is there, as long as the love for comics is there, as long as the fan base is there, that is all that matters. And you know what, mate, even if we didn't have anybody watching this, it's you and I that's enjoying ourselves. That's what matters, At the end of the
100%.
day, as long as we're having fun.
Exactly right. Well, I had fun.
In saying that, everybody that is watching, If there is anything that you would like to see, anything that you'd like us to talk about, anything that you'd like us to bring up, let us know in the comments. Let us know in a PM. Let us know any way that you can get a hold of us. Just remember, you can look us up on Facebook. We have the Aussie Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. We also have the AussieVerse Facebook page. We also have the Instagram, and you can also hit up Mark on Instagram at
in Grodd We Trust is one of my Instagram where I do comic book reviews. So it's comics _ in Grodd We Trust. So
I'll have that banner ready next time.
Yeah.
And myself, I am Bo _ Roth 616. You can always look us up there. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining me. Thank you for being my partner on this new show and this new endeavor. I'm very excited for what the future brings. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the very first episode. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. Please share this video, share the channel, share the page, share the Instagram. Let's make this community grow so that we can have more people on this show. Anybody from Aussie Omnibus Collectors that wants to be a part of an episode one day, hit us up. We would love to have you on the show. Anybody that's got anything to contribute, to add, to be positive, we are more than happy for you to be a part of what we want to continue and grow here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been AussieVerse Comics and Collectors. Before we say goodbye, we have one more comment from Steve. Good work, fellas. Great start for something new. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you can join us next week, Steve. We will see you later. Mark, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you later, everybody. We'll take it out from there. Catch you next week.